heading off to work as usual. So today I had a very interesting topic I thought we could talk about. Today I was thinking about a turn of phrase that has become extraordinarily popular, but something that has been around since antiquity. At least I think that's the right word to use, antiquity. Judging. What does it mean to judge somebody? From Jesus is saying, judge not lest ye be judged, all the way up to somebody just yesterday saying, this is a judgment-free zone, don't judge me. I'm wondering, what in the world does that actually mean? I mean, it's as if, with many other topics, like, for example, you can say, what's the difference between being sarcastic and being facetious? Well, that's an extraordinarily, in my humble opinion, and if you know the answer, tell me, that's an extraordinarily difficult question to answer. I've never found the answer to that one. But if you look at a couple of statements, one with somebody being extraordinarily biting and somebody else just saying the opposite of what they mean as a joke, it's very clearly to tell which is the sarcastic and which is the biting, the facetious. Obviously, the sarcastic one is the one that is more biting, the one that is mean, the one that is cruel, whereas the one that is just meant for humor or for emphasis is simply being facetious. But where that subtle difference is, I'm not sure. Comes back again when you look at computer programs, things like facial recognition. It's extraordinarily easy for them to program facial recognition to say, this is a picture of a man standing in front of an ATM. Is this person the same as the person in our database? Yes, it is. Okay, go ahead and give them their money. That works pretty well. But to be able to look at a picture of somebody and say, okay, so this is a picture of the perp. Here's a picture of all of the people that we have on file, 100,000 of them. Which one is he? That gets a little harder. And not to say that they're not getting good at it. It's just one they could do pretty early on, and the other one took them a while to develop. But what we're actually thinking about here is judgment. You could probably identify judgment when you see it. However, can you tell me exactly what judgment is? And that's much more difficult. So I think the basic idea, the basic concept here, the cliff notes, is going to be that you have formed an opinion about somebody, and that opinion about their actions is affecting your opinion of them as a person, which I find fascinating. So you can look at somebody who is extraordinarily overweight, or somebody who is a smoker, things that on the surface we know are bad. You can look at that and say, okay, so now because I know this person is overweight, or I know this person is a smoker, I now have an opinion not only about that aspect of their personhood, but also about who they are as a human being. I've made some kind of conclusion, and I am going to use that conclusion to affect how I interact with this person. That's a bit of a judgment, right? So can we use that as our base definition? Does this work? Does this hold up to scrutiny? The reason it came up is a friend of mine was telling me a story about how she was doing a Good Samaritan and was giving this woman who was clearly lost, giving her a ride to her church. And the woman had no idea where she was going, had no idea which church she even belonged to, didn't even know the name of the church. She was from out of town, so not judging there. But it became apparent that the person who was giving the ride was not intending to go to church that weekend. In addition to that, was married but had no children. And the person giving the ride, we'll call him Johnny. So Johnny did not like the attitude of the person who he was giving the ride to. Johnny felt like the person was saying, oh, you're not going to church? Oh dear, you're married but you don't have any children? And was beginning to get a mite offended at that. And that was really just adding insult to injury as, yeah, I can give you a ride to your church. Where is it? Oh, I don't know. Okay, so how can I help you? That's the Red Foreman working at Bob's store. If y'all watched that 70s show, Red Foreman worked at Bob's store and say, how can I help you if you don't know what you want? But can I use this as the basis for, am I being judged? I have no idea how this is going to turn out. I'm taking a different ride in today, and the sun is very clearly hitting you right on the lens. So I have no idea how this video is going to turn out. This is a fun experiment here. But regardless, the basic concept now, maybe I'll just go like that. That's pretty cool. I can do that. The basic concept here is that if you look at somebody and form an opinion about them based on some outward aspect of that person or some singular choice that they have made, you have now both A, used that single piece of evidence to form an opinion about somebody, and B, used that to what in the world am I thinking about? Used that to develop an opinion. Use that to, tongue-tied, I apologize. Use that to affect in a negative way the way that you are interacting with this person. Man, that's tough. Because what if it's not just a singular thing? What if it's more than just, oh, they smoke, they don't go to church, they are overweight? What if it's more than that? What if it's a series of character flaws? And now you have decided, I do not like this person because this person is mean and sarcastic, and is cheap, and whenever we go out to the bar together, they never tip the bartender. I just don't want to spend time with this person anymore. Is that judging? Well, I mean, yeah, maybe it is, but is that a bad thing? And you're totally willing to help this person if they're really in need. I mean, you are, let's say, you are grade A Samaritan. You are the absolute best human being in the world since Jesus and Mary. But you just choose not to spend time with this person. Is that judging? And is that wrong? All right. Or let's take it a step further. Let's say that this person has one character flaw that you notice that is a travesty of some kind. I have no idea what it could possibly be. All I can think is that you know that they're a murderer. But that opens up a whole different can of worms. But let's say it's to that degree, but not necessarily. Okay, let's say that they're an adulterer. You know for a fact that this person is cheating on their spouse. There's nothing illegal about that, and it might not even be your place to say anything. But how on earth, why would you want to spend more time with this person? Can you judge about that? That's strange. And let's open up the can one more layer, all right? A different kind of judgment now. Where's that sun coming from? Way over here, okay. One more. Normally I don't go this way, so normally this isn't an issue. Normally I'm traveling south, but today I'm traveling east. West, dummy. You're traveling west. Okay. What if the judgment is of a good thing? Another friend of mine purchased a house, a very large, very beautiful, probably very expensive house. And as soon as we walked in, we complimented her on how awesome it was, the kind of house I would love to live in. And the first words out of her mouth were, don't judge. And hey, Jamie, if you're watching this, don't judge, okay? And I just don't fathom that. Why on earth would and let's say you judge somebody and you find positivity. Oh, this is a person who's financially very successful. They're doing well by their family. They do well by us. I mean, every time I come over, they've got beer for me. They're very hospitable. They're not stingy or cheap. They want to share their wealth. It's awesome. I got a lot of friends like that, and I really like having friends like that. Why on earth would you think that there would be a need to judge? And even if we did judge, wouldn't we judge in favor of you being awesome? So we're assuming that when people say don't judge a lot of things, and I think everybody knows what that means. But it's just tough because people throw that phrase out in a lot of places where I think it's not absolutely necessary. And to me, the phrase is incomplete because there's a lot of times when judgment is not necessarily necessary, but is totally apt. I have judged you. You are an adulterer. You have cheated on your wife. I don't want to spend time with you anymore. And you're not even, I don't know, maybe you're not even doing right. Maybe you're going to go ahead and try and get away with it. So I don't see that as a bad judgment. You're extraordinarily wealthy, but you're also really kind to me, and you're a very good mother. I'm judging you to be awesome. So I'm not following. But I guess I understand that when you throw it out in that situation, there's a lot of words that should be tacked on to the end of that. Don't judge me in a negative way and let that judgment affect the way that you treat me as a person. That's what they mean, right? Right? Am I wrong? I have no idea. As always, I'm relying on you, viewer, to set me straight, to correct me, to tell me what I'm missing. Because I really love scrutiny. So, tough concept today. May have gone on a little bit long. I'd love to talk more about this, but I need more fodder for intel. What do you think? Do you judge people? I didn't even get into Jesus. So what? So you're judging somebody. So I don't mind being judged. Right now, I'm asking you to judge me. I'm asking you to judge the content of my argument. And if you want to judge me as a person based on the content of my argument thus far, go right ahead. I don't care. I want that scrutiny. Because the scrutiny you give me is going to help me build my life in a good way. And build my thought process and my own personal philosophies. So yeah, go ahead. Judge me. I don't mind. And I know that when I die, I'm going to be judged anyway. So, might as well get a couple of practice rounds in right now. But I can understand where he was coming from. I think he was just saying, don't do that negative thing. Don't assume. That's my office calling. I'm going to need to take this call. Thanks, everybody. Have a nice day.